Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 5, Tom Taylor and John Timms. So this is an issue that they kind of been promoting this for a bit because as the kiss, right? Like we knew there was a kiss in this, and I was kind of like, and when the issue started, I was like, this doesn't feel like it's building up to a kiss. It feels like it's doing other stuff. But of course, it does get there in the end. So this is after the trap that was set where the Human Torchlight dude from before exploded in John's face. He's supercharged at the start of this issue. And he does help out this guy and gets him to Wally, who's going to help him.
Bit of a dick move using Wally's name just like that.
Do you even thought about it? But you're right. Actually, it's kind of weird.
It's fine for Wally to use John's name because John's name is public knowledge.
Yes.
So that was fine. But then he says, he calls it. He says, "Look after him, Wally." I'm like, John needs to learn some superhero etiquette.
Well, I'm going to chalk this up. I'm going to make an excuse here. Is that this was the aspect of him being all jacked up, right? So, and that since he's so like energized, he isn't thinking straight. That normally under normal circumstances,
this feels like a bit of a stretch, but
it is.
It's superheroes 101 is you have some respect for everyone else. Use the code names.
Yeah. But John's feeling supercharged, so he's hearing things around the world even clearer. He's seeing things further. He describes like 5 situations going on simultaneously, and he helps this guy first. He gets this guy to Wally first, but then we get like a sequence where he goes through all of these situations that he said he heard or saw, where he's helping with the flood in Luxembourg, saving people from that. Some really nice art there of him flying through, dealing with some kidnapped victims in Africa, where he's taking on the truck with all the kidnappers on it. Then there's a little girl who's lost in the forest, and he helps her. And it's sort of like boom, 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 boom. And it sort of caps off with him like picking up a bridge with all these hospital patients on it that he's transporting to another hospital. And it's a great 2-page layout. It's a really, I think this is one of these really smart things where, because if you think of the shape of a bridge, if you pick up a bridge, it's a very wide image. So it uses the 2-page framing to make it really fit into the page, whilst all the other panels are sort of taking up the empty space in the bottom. So it's really nice. Done. But then John starts to look a bit woozy, right? He's got his eyes start to look a bit red.
Struggling with the bridge. Like, I should not be struggling with this. Yeah,
so he puts it down kind of awkwardly. The doctors notice he looks a bit wrong. So he flies off. He gets a message that he needs to go see... well, actually, I shouldn't gloss over the fact that
he saves someone. He tries to save someone on the way.
He breaks someone's arm, right, by accident. He doesn't know his own strength. And it's actually Aerie who shows up and says, "Hey, Jay needs to see you." So yeah, and this is where he ends up crashing on his couch, right, for 9 hours. He needs to rest. And John's like, "Well, I shouldn't be feeling these things. I should be fine." He's like, "You don't know, like, you're the first of your kind. You're half Kryptonian, half human. You don't know how this affects you. Maybe you do actually need to recharge a little bit. Maybe you're just pushing yourself too much." And even as he's falling asleep, he's like, "Oh, but there's people in danger here and there, and I have to go and do other things." But when he wakes up, it's kind of this nice heart-to-heart style moment, and he points out that he's the one person on Earth that he doesn't really have to worry about, because he can phase through things. Nothing can really kill him. We saw him survive that big explosion, of course, at the Kent farm, and we see him walking through the walls here. And this is kind of what that point is what kind of initiates the kiss almost. Like it's just like it's almost like John in that moment kind of realizes partly the excitement of that, or the connection. This is kind of what makes him special to him specifically. Is that he never really has to worry about him in that same way. And it's just a sweet enough moment to kind of smell each other. I did like because he gets up and says, "I have to go," and he's like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "It's not you. It's an armed robbery." I was like, "That's a funny line."
He goes, "That's not a sentence I've heard before." I'm like,
yeah, because it's also usually it's not you, it's me, but it's not you, it's armed robbery.
And he's like, yeah, like 6 blocks over. Also, I left a bridge on a road. I need to go sort out.
I left a bridge is a very Tom Taylor line.
Yes,
it's very much like, I need to go see a man about a dog. It's like, I left a bridge on a road.
I have to return some videotapes.
Yeah. I like that John leaves his cape and we get that future state vibe of his suit. And I know we're kind of getting away from the future state aspects.
Yeah,
of
I
things,
have seen some speculation that this will be him going without the cape in general now.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he has the cape on covers coming up, but they could be just misleading. You know, it's covers.
Yeah,
or they could edit them out. Who knows?
Yeah,
but...
I'm just saying it does make him look distinct from his dad, which is nice. I like when, I hated when Wally was the Flash and there was only slight changes to the suit and he had to look really close. So I do like here that like
just at a
John
glance,
looks,
you'll be able to tell immediately.
Yeah, you can look at John, you're like, that's him, but the red shoulders, and the way that the S comes up.
I do quite like the red shoulders.
Cape. Yeah, like it's just it's a nice, interesting look. And
I think you see the red shoulders more without the cape.
Yeah.
Because before it just blends in with the cape, but now it makes it distinct, and I think it works better.
Yeah. It's a good issue. It's a very focused issue that deals with this idea that, because at first it kind of felt like a little like
burnout.
This is like a weird montage of him doing all these things, but as it gets to kind of the point of it where he starts to feel the burnout and he starts to like struggle to hold the bridge, he starts looking sick, he hurts someone by accident, then it kind of becomes clear what this all is. And this whole scene at the end and like crashing, all of this is like, oh, this is where he comes and ends not intentionally expecting comfort. He's kind of called upon there, but it kind of becomes this safe haven where he's allowed to rest and take a break for a moment. So it kind of becomes this safe place for him. Not quite a fortress of solitude, but like kind of what I assume like the Kent farm is to Clark in some ways, where it's the place where he goes and feels at home.
Right, and so. At first, I was like, what's Taylor doing with this? Is like, I get that he's supercharged, but it didn't feel like any different than what we've seen. And then just him trying to do too much. I really like that, the character beat for him. That like, yeah, I have all this energy. Of course I'm going to go to try to do everything I can. I'm trying to be my dad. And then when he finally, shuts down because it's just too much. And, Jay explains to him like, you are the first of your kind. Like, you don't know, you're not your dad. And I kind of like that subtle, and not like it's not like a drag of it. It's just like, you're different from him. You need to be you. You need to rest.
Yeah, and in some ways you might be stronger, but there might also be limitations that he never had.
Right.
So
I do like that, Taylor started with that of, he's doing Superman stuff. And it was just like, he's doing too much. And these are your limits. And so, and it kind of plays in with Bendix almost running an experiment, right? So now he knows what John's limits are.
And they have that cute joke at the end was like, hey, when you get back, we'll plot how to take down a evil president or something to that effect, which was a neat line.
Impeachment doesn't work. They tried it twice.
So, it's a really strong focused issue. And I think this particular series from Taylor is coming together the more we get into what it's doing. So I think some of them like hit the ground running better with Taylor, where immediately you just get what it is, and it just feels like it's already clicked together. This feels like it started off good, like it was very promising, but it's as it's going, it's clicking more and more, and it's like, okay, I'm kind of seeing what this is becoming and what he's doing with it.
It really does fit in with his Suicide Squad though too. And not just because these characters are trivial, but there is I don't want to say a political bent, but there is an undercurrent that's going through it, right?
There's definitely a political side to this series,
But it's still very much a superhero story, right? Like there's no political aspect to the flood, right, in Luxembourg outside of if he wants to tie it to, climate disasters and whatnot, or the little girl that's lost in Costa Rica, which those are two of my favorite moments. Like him going and the girl telling him in Spanish that she needs help, and he says, I can help you. Just it's a very Superman moment that doesn't play into those, but when they do pick up, like the stuff with Bendix and the Airy and Jay and all that stuff, it all fits in very seamlessly.
Yes.
So
yes, Brian Michael Bendix is the villain of this.
Yes, Brian Michael Bendix. Which
it makes me every time I read it, like because I forget between issues.
Yeah.
And then I come back to the issue and I see it and I go, oh yeah, that.
To a segment of Superman fans, Bendis could have been seen as Bendix. trying to destroy Superman.
I've brought this up like multiple times with multiple issues at this point. Yes, we know the character came from Wildstorm from a long time ago. It's not a new character. It's not like a dig, but it's still just. It feels like it could be almost. So yeah, solid stuff. What are you giving it, Matt?
I'm giving this an 8.5.
Car?
I'm gonna go with straight 8.
Yeah, straight 8 for me as well. But the series does feel like it is kind of like clicking into place now, which is nice.
Yep.